What's going on, Geminites? Everybody watching live, everybody watching on the replay. We are here to do a live stream with the CEO publisher of Dynamite Entertainment to celebrate the launch of our very first exclusive variant, the Vampirella cover. And we have Mr. Nick Barrucci with us right now. How's it going, Nick?
It's going well, man. It's going well. It's an honor to be here sharing your audience with you.
I appreciate it. And the audience, I accidentally scheduled this. What was it? Wednesday, and everyone's waiting in the stream, like, where are these guys at? I was like, oh man, I gotta move it till Friday. So I know a couple people in here, like, man, I've been waiting on this for 3 days. So
You've got some loyal fans. We've been big fans of yours. I don't, Vincent Faust. Obviously, he's been sending you some stuff to review, some of our graphic novels, some of our statues, and we always appreciate your covering them for us. So, you and I have been talking for at least 4 months now, I think, about trying to figure out what to do together. And I'm really excited. We finally get to work together. We get to do something cool. You had a really creative idea on how to move forward. And you've got just one of the best audiences who love comics, which is just downright awesome.
yeah, I got to agree with that. I love the audience. We love doing these live streams. Usually we go live once a week and we don't even have topics. We just see what's going on with them in the chat. But yeah, the variant cover, I always wanted to do an exclusive variant. It's something that I've always envisioned. Like, you always want to see your name on something you love, like you
Yeah.
want to see Gem Mint Collectibles on a comic. But I really wanted to do it like the way I envisioned it. And you guys, man, were super open to let that happen, to let your character holding our brand. And I just thought it was such a cool collaboration.
The thing that made it fun is that, obviously this is something that we want to do and we want it to be successful, but we want it to be successful for every reason, including just to be able to create stuff that your fans can appreciate. You bring a lot of joy to your fans every day of the week, every time you live broadcast. There's a reason why you're almost at 100,000 subscribers. You're practically there because you bring joy to the fans, and it's all comic related. And that's what drew us to you, is your love of the fans. I think when Vince first discovered you, you were at barely 30,000 subs.
Yeah, no,
So you've
I've been talking to Vince
exploded.
for a long time, man.
Yeah, you've exploded. So working with you, working with the fact that you really wanted to bring something cool to the audience, you brought your creativity to the table. One thing that the fans should know, probably something you may not have thought to tell them, is that, like we said, we've been talking at least 4 months. When we were going to put together the first variant cover, you wanted it to be huge. You wanted it to be right. We didn't just say, hey, let's do it. Boom, we put it together and put it up like within a week or two. It was something that was well thought out. You worked with the creator. There was give and take. You gave your direction. The creator came back with his ideas. We gave some input, and you blessed it at the end. You had to be happiest with it because this is your first one. Never get a second chance at a first impression.
Mm-hmm.
And, we just want to take it to the next level. And I think the fans love it.
And real quick, speaking of, let's give a quick shout out to DLC 96 Collector. Just became a member of the channel. We appreciate that. And that's funny because you just said you never get another chance to do your first one. And I really wanted to work with Dynamite because, like I said, with Vincent, he was like one of the first ones to reach out to us from a big company. And it's like, that's so humbling as a content creator when you start seeing stuff like that happen. So I was like, yeah, man, I'm down to work with Dynamite for sure, man.
It is so cool. And I'm not sure if your fans know all the information because, there's a lot of information every day. But basically, Vampirella has been one of our biggest sellers. And Gem Mint wanted to do a cover, and his idea harkens back to Wizard. And when we talk about harkening back to Wizard, we're going to talk about other stuff like Joe Jusko and stuff from the early 90s that got us all jazzed together.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that Steven wants to do is every copy, anything he does that he brings to the audience, he needs a gem in there. Whether it's subtle, whether it's there, because the first couple of issues of Wizard, just like Steven said, they all had the Wizard hat. And that was cool. It branched out from all the other magazines and papers. And this is going to help. This just adds that little extra something.
Right. Exactly. Like if you're a fan of the channel, then this comic with the gem on it somewhere, and I think it'll even be cool. We continue to do this, and we have it hidden somewhere, almost like a Where's Waldo. Like you got to find where's the gem at? Okay, boom, there it is, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that could be fun. So guys, basically we're crowdfunding this on IndieGogo. Let me share to show these guys what the campaign looks like. I haven't used StreamYard in forever, so hopefully I'm doing this right. So let me pull it up on my phone so I make sure I'm
Yeah, boom, there it is.
You see it, right?
Oh yeah.
So IndieGogo is a way to crowdfund. It's super easy. You just click on this button here, back it, and then there's multiple options, right? You can see we have 42 backers now. We're at 2738. Those are rookie numbers, guys. We got to bump those numbers way up. But you have a bunch of different perks, right? There's a regular trade dress. The one without the logo is called the Virgin variant. Then you have the black and white. So you have like what, $20 for the one cover. You can get the 3 covers for $50. And then there's a bunch of different options which are really cool. Like you can have the artist Ken Haser. He'll do a remark on it. You see how he has that like little Vampirella on the bottom left?
Yep.
And then what is this? So there will be blank covers of this same issue, Vampirella 16, and then he'll do like a sketch like this if you request it, right?
Yeah. Well, if we start over, I'll go through everything, make it a little easier. If we go to the top, because I think the fans really, really need to get a feel for this. And I think that between your exuberance for the actual design and putting it together, and since we're the ones who have been doing it, we can give some direction. We'll go through it easier.
Yeah,
Now,
because myself and I think a lot of my audience here, I don't know how many of us have used IndieGogo. So if you could help us navigate, that would be awesome.
yeah. So there's a couple of things. So we're going to get into quite a bit of it. So when you start off, the first thing you see is obviously there's a nice video that Gem put in there. He's really excited about it. And it just helps you walk through the process and his excitement for the actual comic. And like I was saying, this is Vampirella is one of our signature characters. Gem really wanted to do something cool, and this was definitely it. So as we scroll down and look at all of the options, right now you have a 3-pack right there for $50. And on some levels, that's the best package if you want the unsigned set. It's $50, you get 3 books. Now, we'll go through each book. So all the books are $20. We wanted to make it affordable for the fans. So the first book is the main trade dress book. So you got Vampirella with the logo, with the trade dress, and it is a limited edition. One thing that we should mention, Stephen, that I don't think the audience is aware of, this issue of Vampirella 16, which is part 1 of a new story arc, these Gem Mint covers will be some of the rarest covers. They will have very small print runs compared to the regular editions. And the other thing that we do is if we don't sell out of these, usually when we offer these covers later as a backup promotion, we do increase the price. We want the people that jump in at first to get the best price. And we've done this with Lucho Perillo, like Lucho Perillo's Vampirella. We sold them just like this, $20 each unsigned, 3 for $50 unsigned. When that campaign was over, shortly after that, we increased the price to $50 each.
Right.
So
at this point, it's a set print run, and it's obviously limited, like you said, much less than the regular cover.
Exactly. So the first one is with the logo. That's the main cover. Then when you go to the next cover, that's the Virgin cover edition. And that's if you're, some people want the logo. Some people want just the Virgin art. They just want to see the art without the logo, and we present that option to them. And usually as a standalone, that's most people's favorite option because they get to see the art unfiltered. That's true. Here you get...
I think I'm in the minority. I always like the trade dress. What do you like better? You like the Virgin covers?
I've always been a trade dress myself, to be honest, because I want to see what it is of. I want to see the logo. I want to see the character.
Yeah.
I want to see the whole enchilada. But I'm an
Yeah.
old school guy, the young guys,
Yeah.
they want something different.
True.
Um, then we have the black and white line art version, and this way you could see what Ken's art looks like before the colors.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to see the raw artwork right there.
Right.
So this is the remark. Now here's the thing. Everybody has different budgets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So both the remark that we're showing now and the one underneath with the full sketch, they're both original art. So you could get the one comic with the remark for $50, and you can get the other one with the sketch for $89. Here's the thing. We know that everybody has different budgets. So we wanted people that wanted some original art, that little extra connection to the artist, to be able to afford it. And by making it $50, it made it a lot easier, a lot more affordable. Some people who are fortunate enough to have a bigger budget, they actually will be able to afford the full remark, which is a blank cover. So it's not the variant cover. It's all original artwork plus the logo.
Gotcha. Yeah, Nick, it looks like 5 people already claimed the remark on the regular, then 2 people claimed the blank sketch. So that's cool.
Yeah, we want to make it so that all fans can afford it. The thing is we want to make it as inclusive as possible. Now, the metal edition, that's going to be only available as a virgin edition, because the metal edition is just that. It's a cover made out of metal, and metal has become extremely hot.
Yeah.
As I said, all these covers are limited, but the metal one will be probably the most limited. We're probably going to make less than 100 of those. And if you look at Marat Michaels or some of the other artists today doing metal covers, they are selling out all the time. They're doing just really well. So we wanted to bring this to the audience. But again, when it comes to a metal cover, it's a more marquee item. Not everybody has the budget, which is why having the whole gauntlet from $20 and up works for everybody.
Is the metal, so the metal is just a cover. It's not the book on the inside.
It is the book on the inside.
Oh, it is. I got to see is it like a chromium? I'm not familiar with these metal covers.
It's thicker than chromium. It's full metal. When these things are incredibly expensive to make, and I think the reason why fans love them is because they are so new and so different, and they're so limited. It's just got a coolness. Plus, you get this nice shine off of it when you have it in your hand. The thing about the metal is it's really hard to show it in a photograph. You really got to have it in your hand looking at it for you to appreciate it.
Yeah, and sorry guys, I just realized I'm trying to keep up with the live chat as well. So a couple of questions, and I can answer, I think, some of them. So the metal one right now does not have a CGC option.
It does not have a CGC option. If enough fans want a CGC option, we can take care of that.
And then, okay. So if they want one, should they just hit me up and I'll just email you or something?
Yeah, they can hit you up, or they can put a message on the IndieGogo page. I tell you what, we love the fan customer service. I'll make sure a CGC graded metal cover will be available by Monday.
There we go. And then DJ Sick Rick is asking in the chat, will the GemMint logo be on the book? Is that something we do on the back cover?
We will do it on the back cover as well. Yeah,
that's what I figured. Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. So yeah, anything in the chat, I'm trying to keep an eye on you guys as well. All right. So the metal, I can't wait to see what that looks like in person. Then you have a 3-pack with all of them signed by Ken.
Yep. We have found that the fans that want a signed book, what we've decided to do, usually we would do the signed book at $50 to $75 each. And, it's just giving fans too many choices. So why give the fans a choice of 3 different books at $50 to $75 each? Just give them the option of all 3 for $100 signed. All 3 copies signed, all $100. Very nice, simple. When it comes to getting the copy signed, most of the fans have a good budget for it, and we just want to make it easy for them. And this way, it's a complete set.
Yeah, no, we're collectors, man. We got to have the whole set.
Exactly.
So here goes the slab variants. This is my favorite thing, and I think most of my guys are into that. We're into like high-end collectibles, so statues and CGC 9.8. So this is what gets me the most excited.
Well, and that's the whole thing. I mean, your company name is your YouTube channel is Gem Mint. You gotta have a freaking 9.8 Gem Mint at the very least, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. So then you got all three individually, right? You can get just the black and white, just the regular.
Yep.
The Virgin. And then I see, okay, then we'll look at the statues in a second, but then you have
Yeah.
also the CGC Signature option for an extra $50. I think that's a great value right there, man.
It is a good value because obviously for every CGC graded to get a 9.8, you're sending 3 or 4 of them down signed just to get a 9.8. So you're guaranteed that 9.8, and we have a good relationship with CGC. So they know that these are authenticated, and the artist is always signing the affidavit that they signed it. So it's all hooked up.
Mm-hmm. And then, man, this is cool too. So all three slabs, 33% off if you buy them as a bundle. That's great.
Yeah, you know what it is? And again, this goes back to people with a higher budget. A lot of fans that want to buy the CGC graded ones, the slabbed ones, they still want a reading copy, a collectible copy. So, we could have made it a little bit more money, we could have been like 250 or 275, but this is the first time you're doing it. And I just wanted to give your fans the most affordable option if they want all three, because then you could buy, just to let everybody know, and you learn some of this as you go, you can buy any of the pledge levels on the IndieGogo page. But then when you go to check out, let's say you buy the triple pack slab, then when you go to check out, there's something called add-ons. So if you want to add on an unsigned or add on the 3-pack signed or add on the metal edition, you can add it all on. It's all there for you to choose. It's like a McDonald's menu, only I would call this, you know what I say, it's a McDonald's menu. This is more like a 5-star, because you need gems. This is a 5-star gem restaurant menu.
Right, it's the whole 4-course meal, so you can add your entrees and your appetizers. So a good friend of ours, Michael Cecilia, he's asking, okay, when we put up the metal 9.8 option, how does he switch it from like the regular to the metal? Can he go into his order and like edit it?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. You should be able to edit it, but what you might need to do is I'm just going through my mind, you may need to cancel the order and then order the new one. But look, again, Michael, I'll make this easy peasy for you. My email address is Nick, Barrucci, Barrucci @dynamite.com. If you have any trouble doing this, email me directly. I'll hook you up with Jim, Jay, and Mariano. I got 3 people who handle our campaigns. They will walk you through it, and you can email me directly. And when you do, just write Gem Mint fan Vampirella in the subject line, so I know it's you.
And I'll tell you from experience, this guy Nick checks his emails at all hours of the day, every day of the week, and he replies super fast. I'm like, man, this guy's on it.
Well, it's a blessing when your hobby is your job and your job is your hobby. They always say don't let your job and your hobby be the same thing, but I've been really blessed. I've been a comic reader and fan probably since I was 11 or 12. Comics actually helped me with the English language. I was born in America, but because I grew up in South Philly, and if people don't know South Philly, if you saw the Rocky movies when he's running through the Italian market, I grew up near there. So I was born in South Philly, but my parents didn't speak English. So everybody spoke Italian to them because we were in an Italian neighborhood. So I actually didn't even learn English till I went to school. So comics actually helped me with the English language. So, I'm really fortunate. I've been a comic fan since I was 11 or 12. And I started selling comics at conventions on the weekends when I was 13.
And then you guys have been around. First, it wasn't Dynamite. It was what, Dynamic Forces, right?
Yep. 1992, 93, we started Dynamic Forces with the death of Superman. We actually started off as National Comic Services at first. And I realized that was a terrible name. And I'm literally like, National Comic Services, that's so long. Because like this is what happened. I'd be
Sounds like
doing
someone's accounting firm or something.
yeah, right, right. So I'm doing conventions on the weekend, and this is early 1990s, right? People are in line for Sam Keith for Marvel Comics Presents. People are in line for Bob Layton and Don Perlin for Bloodshot. Not well before Bloodshot, but they were in line for some of the other Gold Key books. And I just was sitting there like, you know, Sam Keith, Rob Liefeld, Dan Jurgens, they can't be at every show every weekend. Why don't I start a mail order company selling signed books? So I was like, I need a big name. I need something that people think we're big. And I went with National Comic Services. And then I just realized, damn, that's a long ass name, you know? And I was like, we need something more dynamic, something that shows that we're a force. And I was like, oh, Dynamic Forces.
Boom. It wrote itself.
It did. It did. I didn't even try.
You know, it's funny that you say that with Death of Superman. So I was born in '84. So around that time, what is Death of Superman? 93 or 92 or something?
92.
So that was what really got me into reading comics. I think I picked up a trade paperback before even a single issue, and it was Death of Superman. And I must have read that thing front and back like 100 times. I love that story, the artwork. And it's funny because the generation prior will say, oh, that was a gimmick or whatever. And I'm over here like, what? That was the greatest thing I ever read in my life. Doomsday killing Superman. And I remember seeing Dynamic Forces all through growing up into comics, seeing it everywhere. You guys always had like the signed books, the COAs and such. And didn't you even team up with CGC a long time ago to do some, or am I thinking about something else?
Well, we always work with CGC. We work hand in hand. So, matter of fact, we're talking to them right now about doing a logo with some of our characters, which we'll see how. Yep.
Yeah, the Vampirella label is going to be, well, yeah, that's a great idea. The boys.
Yep. Vampirella label, boys, Red Sonja. It's going to be all over the place. I have some beautiful artwork to throw on there. It's going to be sweet. You know, it's funny. You talk about having seen Dynamic Forces. You talk about the Death of Superman. And this is the whole thing about our industry that is really such a blessing. The whole thing about our industry is we truly never know what we will do to bring people into the industry.
Right.
There's a retailer, Matthias Lewis, in California, Nowhere Comics and Games. He used to watch me on QVC and Home Shopping Network and buy comics. And that's how he got into the business, watching me. And now he's a really strong retailer in Southern California.
Yeah, you just do your thing, and you don't realize how it inspires other people, and other people become powerhouses in themselves just from being inspired by what you did. That's awesome, man.
It is. And you do the same thing. See, this is what I love about your channel. You do the same thing. You know, you do it with the statues, you do it with the omnibuses, you talk about the comics. You know, you have the positive attitude, and you're an ambassador for the industry. You're up to 98,000 subs, right? And there's a reason why you're up to 98,000. And it's because you bring a positive message to the audience and you grow the audience. And what some people don't think about and don't realize, you have people watching your videos that aren't even subs. They may not be subs, but they run across your videos and they're like, oh, this is really cool. And you're preaching the word. I mean, the ability to find out more about comics through YouTubers and Facebook live feeds and every other platform that's emerging, that's just fantastic. And it's unfiltered and uninhibited. You know, it's funny, as a publisher, when we're trying to get the word out, you know, from our social media, fans will get all the information that we can give them, but social media can be limited too. I mean, you only have so many characters on Twitter. You're fighting everybody else who's using their social media. But when you grow an audience like you're doing for your channel, you really get to convey how great comics are.
Yeah, and I think and thank you for the kind words, man. And I think there's something about, okay, the publisher can give us the information, but what's the real deal? Like, this guy is going to tell me the real deal. And I think that's where the YouTube platform has been such a good thing for comics, because you get to see fellow collectors and readers' opinions on things. And yeah, I don't know, I've always been positive. Like, I love the hobby, so everything that I've always put out has always been to kind of convey that, like, man, this is amazing. I love the art. I love the statue. I love storyline. So that's how we do it over here, man. We just kind of I like the word you said, you use ambassador for comics. I might use that in an intro from moving forward.
Dude, you are. That's the whole thing. You give a positive message, you excite fans. What other word is there? I mean, that's the whole thing. You bring love, you bring joy, and not every and here's the thing. Not everything is for everybody, but
Right.
you convey, here are things that I can tell you about this. You make your decision if you want to try it or not. And the thing is you're an unbiased third party. So
Right.
to a degree, as a publisher and the people that work with me, we love all our children. We want all of our books to succeed. But as you being a third party that's reviewing the books and talking about them, you take the aspects you like to talk about, and it helps inform a decision for the other fans that are out there that may try the book.
Yeah, especially because a lot of times you find people who have like the same interest and taste. Like, okay, I know Gem likes the symbiote stuff, so I'll take his word on that. Maybe if you like Miss Marvel, but I don't read Miss Marvel, then you'll know that you don't have to use my opinion or take my opinion for that. But what's funny? When I talked to you the other day, you asked me like what got me into comics, right? And what I said was really the trading cards, because again, growing up as a kid in the 90s, I think I've seen like Spider-Man, the old cartoon where he's swinging and like the web is not touching anything, it's like just touching the sky.
It's magic. Doctor Strange was helping.
Right, exactly. So I've seen superheroes prior, but when I saw those 92 Marvel masterpieces from Joe Jusko, it just spoke to me, man. Something about how realistic he drew the characters. And I knew I've seen those before. I've seen Alex Ross work, but those painters really, I don't know, just make them larger than life. And then when I started mentioning that to you, you're like, oh, Joe Jusko. Like,
well, here's the one thing I'll say to the fans real quick. Fans, if we make this IndieGogo successful enough, we're going to go beg and plead Joe Jusko to do the next cover. And this is where Steven and I, where I kind of laughed about this. So I'm a huge fan of Jusko, and that's the whole thing you got to look at, like which painter came before that allowed to open up the industry for the next painter. Without Earl Norham, without Ken Kelly, you wouldn't have Joe Jusko. And would you then have Alex Ross without them? And that's the whole paying it forward part. Sorry, I always use my hands. It's the Italian in me. So, I mean, like if you tie up my hands, I can't talk. Nah, So everything is about paying it forward. And when the Marvel Masterpiece cards came out, I was telling Steven, I was at a Great Eastern Comic Convention in New York at the Penna Hotel, and Joe Jusko was talking to Fred Greenberg, talking about this trading card set that he was painting for Upper Deck that had never been done before, the Marvel Masterpieces. And you know how you hear something, but you never think about it again because, look, you're at a convention, a million things going on, you're working.
And that was the first time they did that. Before that, they had Marvel Universe, which was comic drawn. So he's talking about something that isn't Marvel Masterpieces yet.
Exactly. And a lot of times up until then, the trading cards were all pickup art. There wasn't any new artwork. It was all pickup art. Nothing wrong with that. You picked the great covers, you picked great splashes. So when the Masterpiece trading cards were announced, and I saw some of the ads, I was in love with them. So I called up Jusko, and I naivety won, and I said, "Hey, Joe, I really love your cards, and let me just say this. I want to make sure I'm clear on this. I'm probably, if you agree to this, I'm probably going to have to sell some of them. I can't afford to keep them all, but can I buy the whole set of original art from you?"
That's insane, man.
Joe laughed and said, sure. If you want to pay me this much, this is what I'm looking for. And without skipping a beat, I said, yes. And I went and borrowed money from 3 different friends. I tapped out my credit cards. I borrowed money from friends. I gave them, I mean, back then, geez, Avengers 4 were only a few $100s. I had like Avengers 1 and up. I had FF 1 and up. And the thing that scared me the most, I'm a big Subby fan. So my FF number 4, my FF 14, all those issues I gave to people as collateral to borrow the money to buy the Jusco paintings. Now, the tough part with that was I had to sell them and I had to get some of the money back. The one that I regret selling the most is Daredevil. Like I just, I had to pay people back, but I got to keep about 30 of the paintings. And considering where Daredevil 25 just ended, I guess in a way I still have Daredevil.
Dang, that's so crazy. And just to kind of reiterate, you bought the entire 1992 Marvel Masterpiece original art set from Joe.
The entire thing, plus the expansion with the Malibu cards.
Oh man, that is insane, man. I love that Elektra too. And it's cool because those are the original Virgin variants. So they don't have the trade dress on it.
Nah, man, this is the original matted painting. He painted them small, and then I got to keep Daredevil's biggest, baddest enemy in a lot of levels, Bullseye.
Bullseye, yeah. Wow.
And then I did get to keep my man crush, because Submariner and Daredevil are my two favorites. I gave up one. I wasn't willing to give up both.
And that Namor, I don't think I knew who Namor was before I had that trading card set. And that's one of the most, the most bright, most colorful, one of the best pictures in the set, man.
Yeah, he put a lot into it. There were some characters he just loved more than others. So he made it happen. And, there's something that made me think about a few things. The Jusco cards were just great. We did signed sets of cards. Marvel then later released 4 pinup books. We got those signed. We sold them on Home Shopping Network. Yeah. We just had a lot of fun. And
well, hold on, Nick, those pinup books, you're talking about the 4-issue, they're comic book size, right?
Yeah.
I love those because the cards are this big. That's the only time you're ever going to get larger artwork for like my favorite pieces of all time. What they also have is a poster for the Spider-Man card. Inexpensive. I bought one on eBay and framed it. It was like $15. And that's the largest I've ever seen Jusco's artwork.
No, and the thing is these cards were so impactful. Joe keeps getting people asking him to actually do recreations of his own. So I got to get him to do a recreation of Daredevil one day. He's just so busy right now. The thing about Joe is if you ever met the guy's like 6 feet tall, ex-cop, and if you were to meet him, you would not believe how much of a sweetheart he is. He is, not only is he uber talented, he is one of the nicest guys you will ever meet in this industry. He is so friendly. He is so nice. And he's such a dedicated hard worker. And, whenever he's painted a few books, like he did a Tomb Raider book with Top Cow. He did 2 issues of Vampirella with Harris Publications. He worked on some books for Marvel Knights. He kills himself when he paints interiors. And he's just that dedicated. And we were talking about paying it forward, but why don't you hit up some super chats and then I'll hit up some paying it forward in a minute.
You know what? I don't think we got any.
Okay. Nobody wants to ask me questions. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, some people are asking, so I'm going to go to some questions. So Zeke the Wise, man, I have that set framed. And what I think is amazing about that set, it's my favorite trading card set of all time. And it's got to be like one of the most affordable sets you could buy. And I guess because Marvel must have printed millions of those. That was like their big hit. Like, what was it like? Because they had trading cards prior to that, but you were there in the thick of it when this set went viral.
That was the incredible thing, because this was at a time when trading cards were hot, sports cards were hot, and it started to seep into comic book cards. And Upper Deck had printed an incredible amount of these cards, and they still sold out like that. I mean, they sold out like that. They were hot on the secondary market. People were looking for them. So, yeah, there's been a lot of them. I mean, it's kind of like, when you look back and you're like, oh, there was plenty of X-Men 30th anniversary with the holograms on them, plenty of sensational Spider-Mans, plenty of Wolverine 75s and 76s where the adamantium is pulled out of him.
Yep.
And
Fatal
while
Attraction.
Exactly, but they're well loved, they're well received, and they're well remembered. So people still have them and go after them today. And that's the thing with the masterpieces; they are far more affordable today than they were then. And there's a lot out there. But I got to tell you, everything goes full circle. I can foresee a day in the next few years where they're hard to get again, and they start shooting up in value because people remember them. And it's the same thing that always happens in life. You have these cool collectibles that you love, and either you sell them or you trade them or things happen. And then when you go back to rebuy your past, everybody starts absorbing it.
Yeah. Uh, Nick, you're gonna make people open their wallets. Shout out to Kaya B for the $5 super chat, promoting that like button. Yeah, definitely hit that like. Yeah, you know what? There's a huge nostalgia resurgence going on right now. You have comic books right now that are selling like crazy. Like the first Archie Ninja Turtles comic book is
Yep.
selling like crazy in 9.8. I do a top 10 show on my buddy Comic Tom's channel, and like the nostalgic, the 80s cartoons comics. TMNT #1 is going crazy right now. I want to see a day where holograms come back. Like whatever happened to holograms?
You know what? We are going to get to the day where all this comes back. See, right now, and again, your fans supporting your IndieGogo project, which I think is really important on almost every level. Please check out his IndieGogo project. At least check it out to see if it's something you like. That's going to be the way we reach the audience, where we can sell items with enhancements that we may not be able to sell through the comics market on a regular basis, but we can make it. Because if we can make it for one market, then we can have it for both markets and we can grow. The whole most important thing in all of this is to get more readers. That's all we should ever think about. Now, I know there are people that are like, well, if you want readers, you don't want collectibles. It's like, nah, collectibles bring in readers. People get excited. People are like, oh, let me try it. Look, there's a reason why some movies, when, not that anybody's buying too many movies on Blu-ray or DVD right now because of everything that's going on, but there's a reason why books might have a fifth color, prose novels, or you may get a glow in the dark effect, or you may get that satin finish because it pops to people, it gets them their attention, and you grow it like that. So
I'm definitely that type of consumer. It's shiny. There's a shiny version out there. I'm drawn to it, and I'm a collector. I'm a reader too, but I'm probably a bigger collector. Like I just like to collect things, so that type of stuff always gets me, man.
Well, the thing is all right, let's say, for example, and I'll use a different publisher just to pick a different publisher. So let's say that you're looking at, let's say, new Witchblade series, 100, and let's say it's Witchblade 100, and you're like, yeah, that's an anniversary issue. It's got a cool metallic cover on her metal. Let me pick it up. So you buy it, and if you like it, you buy the next issue and the next issue. If you don't like it, at least you bought that, you supported the publisher, and you're going to look for other stuff. There's everything right in getting something that you love that draws you into the comic, that makes you want to read that comic and want you to read more comics.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a good marketing strategy. Make it shiny or chrome, and then people drawn to it, and then you might get a lifelong fan out of that.
Well, I always call it the sizzle and the steak. You can have the best steak in the world, but if you don't give it the right sizzle, nobody's going to try it. And you could give something great sizzle, but if it's not a good steak, nobody will come back. It's that balance that you can't always find, and it's all about drawing people in. I mean, that's part of what we love. We love to draw people in.
Speaking of that, let's give a shout out to my buddy Economics and Comics with the $10 super chat. Says congratulations on your first exclusive variant. Thank you, and make sure to check out Economics and Comics, his channel. He does great stuff as well. He likes to poke fun at other content creators, man. I caught his video, but
so he really wants to be EIC, Economics and Comics editor in chief. That's his goal, right?
Yeah, definitely.
He's EIC.
That's my boy. I rock with him, so check him out too. But yeah, man. So we have the campaign now. We didn't mention the statues that are up there. Can we go over that with these guys? Because I'm sure I have some statue collectors watching.
Absolutely, man.
So I actually, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
No, you first.
I was gonna say I actually have these two statues here. I need to do a review for them, but we have this one is based off of this one's by Art Germ Vampirella bust, right?
Yep.
So this is it must be is it 1/4 scale as a bust? Do we know what the scale is on that?
It was. Now, I don't have it in front of me, but it was, I think, more like a 1/5 scale.
More like 1/5. Okay, so that's a
Yeah,
bust.
I think it was closer to 1/4 is 18. No, it's closer. It's between 1/5 and 1/6.
Got you. Okay, so it's a smaller scale bust, and then we have this one by Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah,
So when you click on it, let's see, 12 inches high. Okay, so that sounds like 1/6 scale.
that is definitely 1/6. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. See, I'm actually gonna bust a review on these bad boys soon. So those are on there as well, so you can get that perk if you are interested. Is there
Well,
anything
and
else that we missed on the campaign, Nick? Or that
no, we covered everything in the campaign. And like I said, if you buy anything off the campaign, you also get the add-ons to add to it. And I'm going to go with the whole pay it forward thing. So, when we worked with a lot of creators in our history, in our 30-year history. And when I was looking through my Jusco paintings, I found this from J. Scott Campbell. And I actually got this as a gift because we always, under Dynamic Forces, worked with Wildstorm. We helped promote all their books. And Jim Lee, J. Scott Campbell, and Andy Hartnell gave me this cover, which is incredible, as a gift, and mailed it to me with that encryption at the bottom.
Wow, that's great. That looks nice.
It does. And that inspired me to do one more thing. So you fans hopefully can, if you want, can help support this. But here's my way of supporting our boy Gem Mint. He's getting a certain piece of original art.
Dang, that's awesome, man.
And
yeah,
we're also adding in, because this is, I want Steven to, not only do you get the original art cover, right? You're going to get all the layouts.
Oh, wow. Man, I never owned any original art. That's amazing, man.
Well, now you've got, hopefully, you'll be able to do 2 frames, one with the cover and one with the 4 layouts. So, like I said, like we were talking about earlier, Steven gave some direction. We gave some feedback. Ken came back with 4 different sketches. More feedback was given. And then Steven picked the piece that he loved the most. And, I'm just really excited. I'm glad we're doing this first one. Hopefully we do more. But Steven getting this to hang on in his home is a beautiful thing. And I got to say, this is a shout out to all the fans, because you made it possible by subscribing to his channel and just appreciating all the love and all the passion that he brings to you. Because without you, none of us would be here.
Man, Nick, that's crazy. I appreciate that. That's so awesome to have the original art for the cover for the first variant. That's just like mind blowing.
Now, I won't be able to afford that with Jusco. Just want to throw that out there.
Man, just work. If we get Jusco, so this, man, we got to make sure this is successful, because I got to get a Jusco like Deja or Red Sonja, or I wonder if there's something that you guys have that he hasn't done yet. I don't know if he's done anything the boys. I don't think so, right?
He hasn't done the boys. He also hasn't done Tarzan with us. I'm pretty sure let's just say we have a lot of characters to choose from.
And he's a huge Conan fan. I think I was such a fan of Joe that after I bought every trading card that he's ever done, I was like, every Marvel masterpiece, I started looking at the other stuff. He did a whole Conan set, right? Or was it Conan or Tarzan?
He did an ERB set. It was Tarzan, but he also, I think what you're thinking of is he did a ton of Savage Sword of Conan for Marvel when Marvel had the magazine, and somebody did print some of those as trading cards. So he did do a complete Tarzan set, but he also had cards in other sets. I mean, look. Think about it. The guy's prolific. He's been drawing he's been painting since the 80s, and he ain't slowing down. He just keeps getting better. I mean, how lucky and blessed is he that he still has that passion for the medium, and he gets to do what he loves
for years, decades.
Yeah.
Same with you, man. You've been in it for a long time. It's so it's so cool to see. And that's really what I love about the hobby, because you could be a fan of it, but you could find your own niche in there and you could make it a career. Like you started buying and selling at flea markets, and there's a lot of different avenues. Real quick, let's shout out to Michael Cecilia, $5 super chat saying, Nick, Northeast Philly here, Eagles. Enough said. You found the right ambassador in Gem. Congrats on the collab, and we are so excited. Appreciate it, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Hey, man, thank you for that. And again, even the fans that aren't able to go to the IndieGogo, I do bring up the IndieGogo because we do want to get to try and get Jusco. Obviously, we got to ask. It depends on his schedule. No guarantees. But, even when people like Michael, like Economics and Comics, these are your fans that realize that by supporting you, you support them. I mean, I always make the comment like this. As a YouTuber, you are more entertainment and cheaper than Netflix because you are bringing new content every day or every other day as much as you can. And any super chat that they give you, you're bringing passion to them, you're bringing information to them, and you're growing the market. So when they support you, they're showing their appreciation and saying, we want you to continue doing what you do.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it like crazy. Yeah, and we do every day, still every single day. So today twice, because this is a bonus live stream at the in the late afternoon, evening, and we already did something this morning. So yeah, man. But it's the thing that if it fuels the fire, it just makes you more hungry to want to continue to do more. The more people support it, the more you get obsessed with it, man. At least for me, it's something that you wanna continue to grow, for sure, man.
Well, the funny part is I guess I'm at this 38 years now. So next year will be 39 years. So when you look at it, it's hard to remember everything you've done to get here. And you just look at all the friends you made, all the things you've been able to do. You really never have the time to appreciate everything you've done in life. And when I get to sit down and talk to somebody like you, somebody who's as big a fan as me, someone who I can just have a nice conversation with, you realize how blessed you are. I mean, growing up, I never thought I never could have imagined in a million years that I got to work with Frank Miller. I mean, he's one of my all-time heroes, worked on one of my two favorite Marvel characters in Daredevil, created Elektra, defined Bullseye. He's just a master. And, going even beyond that, I mean, Howard Chaykin is probably one of the most creative and forward-thinking artists who really never has gotten he has the critical acclaim and the acclaim from creators and industry people, and he has had a lot of commercial success. I still think he should be getting more success because he is one of the most brilliant creators in the industry, and never would I have imagined that I would befriend someone like Howard Chaykin and work with him. And that's the beauty of our industry. The beauty of our industry is with hard work and gumption, you should be lucky enough to do a lot of things you may not have been able to do before. I'm not saying you could do everything, but I'm saying you should be able to do a lot of it. I mean, I got to work with Jack Kirby and Jerry Siegel with autographs at Dynamic Forces. Like I said, I mean, I've got to work with Walt Simonson, who I grew up loving. The list of people that I was so fortunate to work with is incredible. Yeah. And, I met a lot of them at conventions. But, right now, at the end of the day, you're the new convention too. You are the new convention. You to a degree, it's like you've got the back issue bin and the new books when you're showing them to the fans and you're getting them excited. What you do, one of the things that I really respect and appreciate, and I apologize if I'm throwing too much admiration to you, but I really love what you're doing, is you're helping retailers as well. When you excite people about a book, you send them into a comic store. It supports the entire industry.
No, and I appreciate it. But yeah, no, I thought that too. And it almost like you have a responsibility, right? Because sometimes it's not a great review, and then that would prevent somebody from going to the comic store. But I like to think that pushes the publishers to focus on making great content, you know?
Dude, absolutely. If I've said this to creators. I did a live stream with David Finch a few
Right.
weeks
Great
ago.
guy. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And one of the nicest guys, him and his wife Meredith is such a talented writer. And I said to one of the fans, I said, if you want to be an artist, you got to keep drawing. If you want to be a writer, do fan fiction if you have to. But the one of the most important things I said is don't get it, don't just show your work to your family and friends because they're going to just tell you how great it is. It's like my mom. She lied to me for years. She told me I was handsome. I believed it. But no, you need the criticism. You need to be told what you're doing wrong. Otherwise, you won't do better. And when you criticize a book, it's one of two things. Either the book does need to get fixed, and hopefully that input helps, or that book just wasn't for you, but
Wasn't
it
for me,
was for
right?
somebody else.
True.
You know,
That's true.
criticism is good as long as it's constructive. It's
Yeah.
people that just like to bash people where it's like, there are too many people in our industry that I don't even know if they realize that they're overly mean with social media. It's almost anti-social media.
Right.
And if a lot of people would spend more time just talking about the projects they love instead of bashing people, our industry would be doing better.
Right. All right. So to be mindful of time, Nick, 'cause I think we've been going almost an hour here.
Oh,
Yeah, right. Kind of flies by. So to just show the campaign, guys, we have the link in the description. This is what it looks like right here. It's already funded, so it's gonna happen. But like I said, we got to get these numbers up, man. 42 backers. We need to have 4,200 backers. So hit the link in the description, even if you're just getting the raw copy, $20, and just back the project.
you know what? Even if we get to 700 or so backers, this will be successful enough to approach Jusco to get it to the next level, and no matter what, these are going to be, if not the most limited, some of the most limited of the books around. The remarks and sketches and metal books will definitely be the most limited.
Yeah, and to work with Jusco for me, that's like the person that got you into comics working with you. That's just like the full circle. You couldn't ask for a better wrap up like that, you know?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Dude, all I got to say is thank you for doing what you do. Keep doing what you do. Keep growing your audience. Your audience is incredible. You guys are just all fantastic. And I thank you for following him. And I thank you for watching his shows. This industry comic books are one of the true American made industries.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got comics, you've got jazz, you've got very little else that actually originated in this country, and everything is influenced by things that came from outside this country. I'm sure people will nitpick my statement, and well within their right. But at the end of the day, the reality is that the most fun thing about comics is it's the least filtered form of entertainment you're going to get. You've got a writer, an artist, an editor, and usually what the creative team are putting together is what you're going to see. With movies, with TV, you're going to see so many people putting their fingers in there, trying to put their signature on something or being afraid to try something new. With comics, you get to do it all the time, and it's beautiful. And I will tell you, every single one of us publishers, every creator in this industry, all we live for is to bring you comics to read and bring you enjoyment and paying it back for all the creators that gave us the joy that we loved.
Well said, man. I appreciate that. And thanks for coming on. Thanks for giving me the opportunity, taking a
Yeah.
chance. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. And like I was saying to you guys, I don't know what to expect. So the campaign, I think it has 34 more days or 33 more days. I'm going to be marketing the hell out of it. So if you've already got one, don't get annoyed because I'm trying to get the word out there. I'm actually going on a couple other channels. I'm going to do my little press run and try
Nice.
to try to get. I need to work with Justco. I need a GemMint Justco cover in my life, and then I could just retire from the variant game after that.
Nah, don't retire. Whatever you do, don't retire. Here's the other benefit. Just real quick, I'll say a few more things. First of all, Geminites, you help get the word out there for GemMint. Get that word out there. Tell your friends. Post it in your fan groups. Talk about the IndieGogo promotion. Even if you're not getting it yourself, if you can't afford it or it's not for you, no worries, man. Just get the word out. Help it out. The thing is that's the other thing. You know what? I love the camaraderie that you have, working with Economics and Comics, working with Comic Tom. You guys really just bolster each other. You guys are a creative community that the industry wouldn't have otherwise. I mean, you would never have had Wizard Magazine and Comic Buyer's Guide and Hero Magazine work together. You guys get it. You got to work together to grow. And that is so fucking awesome. And my hat's off to all you guys for that.
Yeah, man. We try to collab and just build each other up, right? So, if everyone's big, then we're all helping each other. So that's kind of like the goal there. So, man, this was an inspiring chat. You got me wanting to go make more videos right now.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. You are awesome. And, I will say this one last time. Fans, thank you for being here for all of us, not just GemMint, not just Dynamite, for the entire industry, because you are the lifeblood and you are the foundation that allows us to continue to bring you great comics.
Thanks, man. Hey, Jasper, thank you for the super chat, brother. Thank you for everyone who watched live, everyone who's watching this on the replay. Links in the description for the project. Back it now. Nick, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother. Have a great weekend.
You too.